Tammy Pickett with the Arkansas Digital Cipher for the Arts, Chapter 5, Take 4. Last week, you guys, I missed you. Yeah, I really did. I really did. It kept telling me that my storage was full. Tabby, your storage is full. Hey, check your storage. It's kind of full. Got that shit handled. Now I'm here today. You know. So, I said that to say this. After these messages, I'll be right back. Hey there. So I'm Tabby Pickett with the Arkansas Digital Cipher for the Arts, Chapter 5, Take 4. Tonight I wanted to introduce you guys to this phenomenal woman. Do you know her? So 1 year for Children's Day, I had rented out the War Memorial. It's just like, Tabby, I want to be a part of that. I was like, cool. What you want to do? She was like, I'll text you when she's on the way. Didn't let me know what was going on, so I was caught by surprise, but it was a great surprise. She added a whole new layer to Children's Day with African storytelling. So I wanted to introduce to you guys Conversing with Robin White right here tonight. Yeah. By Blind, right. Talented Robin White. How you doing today, my lady?
I'm good. Well, I'm very well, and thank you for having this and helping me to promote my book. So, Ashe.
Look at God. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking out the time to not just sit with me today, but to tell me what you have going on. You have a plethora of books, and I want you to talk about whichever one you want to talk about.
All right, I'm going to start over here.
Okay.
This is the first book that was published with my name on it. Actually, I edited Valley of the Ancient Ones. And this was part of my job in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to develop school curriculum. And so another colleague and I was part of Apache and Navajo worked together. And these are stories, but I have to edit these stories. Valley of the Ancient Ones. And actually, they were sold out of the National Park Service bookstore in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Come on now.
And also in Biloxi, it's one of the national parks. So this was good.
Awesome.
So that was in Albuquerque. And then when I lived in Grand Canyon nearly 7 years, Grand Canyon, Arizona, Grand Canyon National Park. And during that time, I just, I had some downtime to write. And I just get up and write in the middle of the night, and I would write and write and write. And eventually, I looked and saw I had something here. It's called Reports from the Soul, and I did this with Otter Owls Publishing. And of course, I self-published because I believe in me. And now it's time for me to start promoting and actually sharing my narratives. How this came about. There's one particular poem in here dedicated to my father, and it's called The Drunken Man. And it talks about my discovering my love for him, that is being drunk. And he always carried a book with him. This man, anytime you see him, he had a book with him.
Come on.
Okay. But he stuttered real bad. He would say, this my daughter. And I wrote about it. I wrote about him introducing me to people and talking like that, you know. And all my aunts and uncles, a lot of them stuttered pretty bad. And this man was not ashamed of it. He was, you know, I would say a victim of the Korean War. He never got his accolades just for being a great man and actually being the type of man that would raise children that were the rape of his wives. Okay, many men did that. And you have to be a hell of a man to do that and to love that child. And that's why I loved my papa, my father so much, because I seen his soul. And that's why I called it Reports from the Soul.
Awesome.
You know, I talk about our family living on a plantation. I talk about that in this book, and talk about how we strived to survive. How my grandmama Bent would be ordered to whip my cousins with a whip. All of that. All of that inspired me to share the narratives in Ear Reports from the Soul, and it's also on Otter Owl's website as well, because they were the one that helped to publish this.
Well, I was gonna ask, so thank you so much for sharing.
Our stories, our voices, our visions. These were students from All High School, and I worked with Patrick Oliver and some of the teachers, and we actually afforded those students to share their narratives and how they came to America and what you think of America. And these were migrant or immigrant students, and they were in a special program at All High School. Our stories, our voices, our visions, and this was in collaboration with Patrick Oliver. But those students, their stories are coming to America, and you hear in their narratives how they miss being outdoors, how they miss swimming, how they miss running, how they felt nature. They were out in nature, and now they're stuck in their room with, their ideals and their wings clipped, playing on the games the kids play today.
Right.
And
the distraction.
But they talk about that. One young lady talked about our uncle getting killed, trying to come across the border, and that she witnessed it. But these kids, when you read it, they're telling their stories, and it's just amazing how they survived. Whereas they're used to family, their aunts and uncles and grandmas and great-grandma, all of them being around and being raised in that environment. And but now, while they're isolated, while their parent might be working 2 or 3 jobs to survive, they can't go swimming, they can't run and pick papayas or mangoes off someone's tree because they don't have it here for them to do that. And this is what with Patrick Oliver. You can go on his website, and a lot of people, believe it or not, know Patrick Oliver in Texas, in Illinois, and all over, because he goes all over actually promoting literacy with our young people. And he do a lot of work with young men. So he and I will be collaborating actually this next month to work with young men and just to hear their voices and for to share who they are.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
So take a breather. That was a lot.
I went through 3 books. I did. Okay. All right.
How is your tea?
It's good. I like it. Matriarch of the family. Then after she leave, we out one more, and then it comes to me or another family member. But I don't worry about that because a lot of my cousins have prepared their children, and a lot of us, it's 8 generations of us, and we know each other, the bulk of us. I titled it Beauty of My Bones because women have no idea how beautiful they are. And we're dismissed. We participate in devaluing ourselves. And this term I called self-occupancy, whereas we are apologizing for our very existence, apologizing for the way we sound, the way we talk, the way we look, and even for our skin color. We are constantly apologize for our humanity. And so, growing up, of course, I was told how ugly I was, and I looked too African, I was too dark, I didn't sound right. And I just grew up with all of that in me, all those whispers in me. And I was living in Grand Canyon at that time, and I told someone that I don't need your permission for my existence. I don't need you to validate to me. And it was just an awakening for me to not participate, in their self. You're devaluing yourself, that space occupancy. No more apologizing for the space that we use to women of the world, no matter where they are, the global sisters. And I wish to share
Please.
something with you. We all come from wounded wounds, the bulk of us. Even no matter how much money you have, you still have problems. And I talk about our DNA. What happens to our parents? What happened to our parents? That comes down that line. That trauma comes down to us. We're dealing with it now. That's what we're carrying. But I think that when you recognize that who you are and you come from wounded womb, that you can deal with life differently. I was sitting in low-grade depression, unable to wrap my mind around all those souls gone on. It was COVID. Taken from their loved ones. Not realizing that I would soon mourn the loss of another loved one. Not concerned about what society may think of me, but more concerned about the family. And yet, so many of them assured me they loved me and trusted me. And my narratives are my own. They watched me from my girl child days come into my being to claim my essence. However, it was not until August 18th, as we buried my dear sister, my comrade, and one of the 3 girl child's conspirators, Maymay, that I slowly began to understand the unspoken messages. It seems a piece of me has been leaving since losing Versi, Clemmy, Mary Ann, and now Maymay. But it was at Maymay's repast, while consumed with life and reflectively looking at over 100 family members and friends, silently witnessing the next generation. Our families will be okay. They will be all right. My family is female dominated. We are also an extension of 8 generations. I dutifully noted our ancestors, as we are born from wounded wombs. The origins of our generational trauma. Even so, we are not junk. We hail from strong roots, scattered all over the South, transported across the transatlantic. I sit and listen in their voices, their truth, sighs of defeat laced with purpose and determination, who continues to stand with strength to embrace, love, and teach through all their pain. A lesson I learned from my former generations is that a warrior peacefully walks through the chaos and recognizes the reckoning with an accelerated need to stand in their convictions, inspiring others to stand in their shine. They taught me to celebrate my global sisters, encourage them to move gracefully with a spiritual consciousness. When faced with disturbing time and unforgiving days, it is hope that dwells within me. Even though with a heavy odds, I stand and never back down. Especially women of other colors seek coverage in an ounce of humanity. From the love of family, I come in from the warmth. Although we stand at the intersection of diverse paths, it is their love that lets me know that I am not a bad person. From the wounded womb comes a daughter of self-validation. And I encourage all my sisters to self-validate. You need no permission for your existence. And I'm going to say it again. You need no permission for your very existence. Abandon the shadows to no longer live in the space of apology, occupancy. And I'm going to say it again. Abandon the shadows to no longer live in the space of occupancy, apology. Consistently apologizing for your intelligence, your faith, and the color of your skin. You are remarkable and deserve to know the value of love, the weight of true, raw love in all its pain and glory. Live in the now. Lean into the new and stand in your shine to love conditionally. You see, when one is abused, for a period of time, their rhythm changes. And that relationship becomes conditional because you have to have the strength to say, I'm not taking this. This is not me. You have the courage to say, I'm leaving. I can't do this. You have the courage to self-validate and know that you are loved, that you are worthy of something more than being abused. If you don't love and protect yourself, then who will? Be unapologetically you. Pain does not discriminate. And it is incumbent upon you to marinate into the comfort of your being for your self-validation and self-discovery, and color yourself with love.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. Beauty in my bones.
Beauty in my bones is my narrative.
That is a very intimate sentiment, isn't it?
Very much so.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just, there are so many of us that are in relationships and feel that they can't leave or they're threatened. But they have to gather their strength from their ancestors. They have to gather their strength from within and to be able to remove themselves from those abusive conditions. And so, I didn't grow up, I have 8 siblings, and I didn't grow up with them. I grew up, as they call me, suitcase kid, because I went from house to house, from state to state, living with the elders in my family. And they were teaching me about Yoruba, which I didn't understand it. And it took a while, even when I grew up, and things started to come to me. But Beauty in My Bones is also part of that journey, and recognizing self, and to know that your love and the love you give others is conditional. When people act up, you straighten them up. When a child acts up, you straighten them up. You can't make excuses. And we have so much potential already in the graveyard. We have so much potential in the cemetery. We don't have to put any more potential in there right away. So continue to live. I began this, writing this, Um, Also while I was in Grand Canyon. And then kept going when I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio. And now I'm here. And I've been writing it over and over and over again till I've seen something that had potential and telling about me and my moral compass. And how even orphaned and losing my yaya at an early age. I became orphan even though I have a lot of family. It didn't work out like I went to live with them because of,
Your origin had been compromised.
yeah. And Beauty in My Bones is also, you can get it Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. But also, this is the journey of an 11-year-old girl. A girl child that was, ninth grade was the last of her going to school. At age 14, I was picking oranges in Umatilla, Florida, on Golden Gems campground, running actually from my family, from my sister that was trying to lock me up. And I ended up, because family was sending me from house to house to rescue me so the police couldn't get me as a runaway. I went back to our plantation, McShine Plantation in Slaughter, Mississippi. And there was cotton to pick and there were pecans to pick on other plantations. And that's how, at age 14, that's how I made my living. But there was an incident at one of the pool halls with me and my cousins and their friends. And I remember it so clearly. I had on a little skirt and a little shirt. This white man grabbed the back of me, my backside, and I slapped his hand away. Then he grabbed my chest and I slapped his hand away. And my cousins and friends surrounded me and told him I didn't know no better, that, I didn't know, I wasn't from, the South, that I didn't live there, I was just visiting. We went home and they told family members and friends, and they called my cousin and told him to come get me right now and get her out of Mississippi.
He was a troublemaker.
What I realized is that I could have been another Emmett Till. And that's what they were afraid of.
Right.
And they were constantly telling me that because they did worry for me, because I did challenge white people. When I felt that's not right. And I was constantly challenging things, and they were so worried for me that they got me out of there. My cousin and I got on a bus and we went to Florida, to Umatilla, Florida. And we picked grapes, not grapefruits and oranges. And that's what we did. And for a while, I was passing as a boy because we cut all my hair off, maybe 6 months. I was a boy, and then someone said, "You switch." Okay? No, you switch. Nah.
You ain't no boy. That's what we're saying.
And I was busted. And actually, I was over in the boys' dorm, in the men's dorm. But my cousin always protected me. He stayed with me and he protected me. I realized that, the incident in Mississippi and why my relatives were always afraid for me. And I understand their fear later, but right then I was like, let's fight. What I discovered in Florida, my cousin said to me, this man asked to buy me. He told my cousin, I'll give you $1,000. And my cousin, get the F out of here.
Right.
He changed to 15, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500, all the way to 5,000. This man wanted to buy me. And my cousin told me that if you're with anyone outside of me, do not get in a car.
Wow.
Do not get in a car. And I used to see these girls. I didn't put that in here. But I used to see these girls in this house with bars. And I would always be talking with them and ask them, come outside. You know, let's go do this. They couldn't. And
They were property.
they were property.
Wow.
They were property. And so my cousin made an announcement that he said, I'm going to be leaving for a while. And if anything happens to her, I'm going to kill all you MFers. That's all he said. And y'all better protect her. And they did. They made sure no one snatched me. They had this code that they worked with this man. They'll be with their girlfriend or this friend.
Now, this was in Florida.
This was in Florida, Umatilla, Florida. And he would say, that was in the 70s. He would tell his girlfriend, go get in the car, I'm coming. And she get in her car, she's gone. He just sold that girl. You know, and I didn't realize this. But these are the things I witnessed as a girl child. My aunts, my grandma, I went to with my cousins with a whip while the plantation master standing there. In the 70s, we still at McShine Plantation. We still visit there. Some of the family, the Winstons of our family, they lived there. They literally lived there on the plantation. And all of this years later came back, you know, that, wow, this happened. Wow, why are you here? Wow, you could be dead. You know, I'm thinking all of this. And recognizing that I am one within His favor, because there are no way that I should be here. In this book, I talk about my growing up, the abuse that we suffered from my sister, and that I would try to protect them, and I would take my siblings, which was Davy Verl Jr., 3 of them, and then take her 5 kids, because she would make us fast for a week, 2 weeks, and all you could do is sip water. I would get my siblings and her kids and go home. We lived in Miller, Indiana, and take them right to Ralph's store and go in there and fix them some sandwiches. People knew, the clerks knew, when I come in there with the kids, I'm finna feed them, and they knew that. And I would feed them, make them sandwiches, get some milk oil, I'm got a drink out there, milk carton, and we done and we walk on out.
That's awesome.
When I go in there by myself, they knew I was coming there just, you know, and I was gonna spend some money. And even today I'm thinking, why they didn't call on us? Why no one called? They seen what we were doing, so evidently someone wasn't right at home. And no one never called. So, you know, my siblings especially suffered the abuse. And I kept leaving. When my yaya, after a brain surgery, she was in the hospital, St. Catherine Hospital in East Chicago, Indiana. I was 11 then. And I would find my way there. I would find my way there and sit with my yaya. I would find my way to be with her. And my sister, I would be there a week. I would change her clothes. The nurses would feed me. Sometimes there was an empty bed, they would let me go and lay in that bed. And they took care of me. And my sister would always send the police to come and get me and bring me home. And what my dumb tail didn't realize that each time she called the police, she's building a case.
Oh yeah, a record.
Saying I'm incorrigible, you know. But I did go back and get my GED, and I talk about that in here.
Because you got a lot of good times in there.
I got a lot of good times.
It ain't all bad.
No, it's not all bad at all. I'm talking about living from place to place. We lived in a lot of places. 17th of Massachusetts was the settlement house. And we would go and play the Jane settlement house. I forget Jane's last name, but it was some white woman that, you know, took care of black kids. But that was our place. All the kids in the neighborhood. we made our own bowling games with cans and rolling the little ball, and we made our own way to play cricket. We shoot marbles, and we were kids. We were just having fun.
Awesome.
Just having fun. And we would go to the Memorial Auditorium. We would go there, and there was always something going on there. Talent shows. My older brother, gold and white, used to dance, design clothes. They called him James Brown #2. So when James Brown would come into town, one time he came to Westside High School, and my brother and I was there. And everybody was screaming, James Brown #2 is here, James Brown #2. He was called out, ran up there and danced with James Brown. So those are the type of things that was at Westside High School in Gary, Indiana. At the Memorial Auditorium, the talent shows with the Jacksons and a lot of families. And my brother and I would dance because he was James Brown and I was one of his little go-go dancers.
Those were the days, huh?
So it was. And my sister, one of my older sisters, May, actually, I call her Loretta, but always pass a book down to me. And Daddy passed that on to us, and May was always handing me a book. And she continued to live in books, even after having all the kids. And she would go to the library and get wagons of books and just go in a room and read. I didn't get that bad, but I did collect books and I just read. And it helped me to see the world in a different way. Because as a child, I said, I'm gonna work with Native Americans. As a child, I said, I'm gonna be a pirate. As a child, I said, I'm gonna be a race car driver. As a child, at 9 years old, I decided I'm gonna move to Savannah, Georgia. I don't know where that came from, but all I know is that my art has always been here, Savannah, Georgia. And so I plan to, when I retire, move to Savannah, Georgia.
Why not?
But in my life growing up, I have worked with Native Americans, and I have grandchildren, a grandchild, and great-grandchildren that are Native American. Where did that come from? I don't know, but it happened. I had an opportunity.
Well, you spoken into an existence.
This bit in my bones, it represents life. It's easy to die. It's hard to live in. And I always
say that again, Mama.
It is easy to die. It's hard to live in. And I've decided I might have a purpose. I'm still here, but I am definitely living on purpose.
You had a shout out, had a sip of Debbie Steve. Debbie Steve.
It's an all-natural, fresh fruit base black tea. Your whole family will love.
Debbie Steve.
You know it's exquisitely refined.
Debbie Steve.
Hydrate.
And you had a shout out
And rejuvenate.
Debbie Steve.
Fights cancer and promotes a healthy gut.
Debbie Steve.
Vitamin C packed.
And you had a shout out, had a sip of Debbie Steve.
Look at God.
Cause it's so good.
That is delicious.
Look at God. Enjoy.
God bless you, dear.
What is this preparing the breach?
Repairing the breach is this is a collaboration, a collaborative.
And you heard me, I butchered that. I said preparing is repairing.
Repairing.
Thank you so
Repairing the
much.
breach. And it's a collaborative narrative of my incarcerated nephew and I. My nephew and I, he's in prison in Wisconsin. And I, dropped him for a while, and because I was moving around a lot. And then in 2012, we caught up with each other, and I was reading, and I saw his pain in there. I saw his anger in his writings. And I would write him back and I'd tell him, look up Angela Davis. Look up the Soledad Brothers. Look up Maya Angelou. And I just started directing him. Look up the McDonald Tree. Look up Vivian, what's his last name? I'm gonna have to leave that one. But I had him look up the Little Rock Nine. And then we began to talk in a different way. And it was more like the griot. It was more like the griot, whereas we were going back and forth. And I might write a sentence, and he would write a paragraph from that sentence. And then I would respond to that. And out of that, from 2012 to now, we have a collection of our thoughts of kindred spirits, even though we're nearly 30 years apart. And we still somehow managed to connect with kindred spirits. My nephew, nickname is Indigo. And you can find the book is Sam Indigo White in goldenwinters.com. Sam Indigo White and goldenwinters.com. I am Golden Winters. I am Robin White. Even though his father has transitioned on, he wrote to his father and he said, it's titled Your Son. Young but growing old, from the old deep in my soul. Scar after scar, built bars around my art, protecting myself from the pain of your neglect. So infectious, I neglect myself for your affection, ironically knowing I will never get it. It's seeing you secretly hated me. Laughable, because you created me. Never asked to be. The outcome of your copulation. You have the audacity to scowl at me. My art seeks an explanation. Not an explanation, but information. At least your side. So I can sort out the situation and decide. But you couldn't even give me that. But you gave me life, and I'm grateful. And I'm not like you. I'm faithful to my relations. I must have gotten that from Mom, considering you the opposite. Don't get me wrong. I didn't pen this to down you. The desire to be around you, despite the walking wounded. If you were to rise from the grave right now, I would embrace you, gracefully kiss your face, stand tall and forgive you, for I am in your love. I would give you the gospel, pray that the Lord saved you. Pops, I hope to see you in heaven, but I can't complain. God has flooded me with grace. When I think of all the fathers he sent in your place, Rodney and KC, Uncle Verl, Ed, and Big Cisco. Old school smooth, you used to shoot dice by the corner store, and Chaplain Baker, to name a few. Plus he gave me a warm-hearted mother to cover me in the life of deceivers. Just to update you of some of the things you don't know about me, I make soul music and I honor women. I gave my life to the Lord and I love singing. I have a real relationship with God and I love giving. Aunt Golden has been my guiding light. We are collaborating on a book. She's seen me since I was a snot-nosed kid. She has stood in the shadows but kept me under her wings. And I love studying history. I look up legal classes. I'm stepping into my creativity. From the invention to investments to fashion. Memories, and I laugh out loud. And I can still hear you laugh now as I wear your face around. I guess that's just my way to say how proud I am that you made me your son. So many men are walking around feeling the same way and don't know how to express themselves. So many young babies males are walking around here in pain because of neglect and don't know how to express themselves. And I'm grateful that I pushed my nephew to do that, to actually go take that pen and put it to paper. And that's what I was encouraging him to do. He talks about coming unto his essence. And he talk about women, and he has one here called I Should Have Gave You Flowers. And it's this going back and forth with each other is really giving him a new perspective on life, whereas he's loving himself and that he has validated himself.
Self-care.
And he's growing into his own essence, and his wings were clipped. And while he was trying to learn how to fly. And a lot of times, our wings are clipped in school because teachers don't understand us. A lot of times, our wings are clipped in our family because of jealousy, or they don't understand you, so you're constantly put down. A lot of times our wings are clipped in the streets, and that is the worst way to find your wings clipped in the streets. Do you have any questions?
I want you to reiterate that again and tell me what's your new and upcoming events.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Both books at this website, Sam, Indigo White, and Golden Winters. You could just look that up. It's under Art House, and both books, Beauty in My Bones and Sam Indigo and Golden Winters can be found. But also, Reports from the Soul can be found on that website as well. And this is Golden Winters. I am Golden Winters. I am Robin White. My next project, actually, two. I work for the National Park Service. I'm the superintendent at Little Rock Central High School National Historic Site. And I work with civil rights, the Little Rock 9, but also to provoke dialogue on our narratives and afford people the opportunity to share their narratives. And I'm looking at advocates and adversaries. Everyone has a right to speak their narratives. And it's best if you do it than allowing someone else to do it and to write about you or to try to share your narratives and what you experienced. You don't want that. And that's how these came about. I don't want anyone guessing about me.
Right.
I don't want that.
What you say, get it from the horse's mouth.
That's right. So with that, I'm writing, my next book is on the National Park Service and talking about civic consciousness, conscious engagement, and also talking to them and sharing my journey in the beginning of the National Park Service was challenging, but also my journey in using the National Park Service as a tool, as a vessel to serve people of color. And so I took that opportunity and worked with gangs. The late Mayor Errol Washington in Chicago, Illinois, had a intervention and prevention program, working with kids on the streets and working with gangs and children from Cabrini Green and Robert Taylor Homes and bringing them right to Indiana Dunes, taking young men and women overnight camping, teaching. I was a cross-country ski instructor for 10 years and teaching them how to use skis, and then also teaching them how to tap maple sugar trees, how we do that, collect the sap, go to the sugar shack and cook it and make syrup, maple syrup. And they seen all this. I exposed them to all of this. And, we shut down sorghum molasses, sorghum, actually, to make sorghum molasses. And they were exposed to all of this. I grew up with my elders, and most of my time was spent outdoors growing up. And as I said, that education was not a priority at that time. So my last grade of schooling was 9th grade. I went back and got my GED. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice, and I have a master's in social issues, leadership, and public policy. And I want to get my doctorate in theology.
And you will.
That's what I want to do. So this book, it actually is titled Living Between Two Worlds, or A Bridge Between Two Worlds, because I have a responsibility to connect with our changing demographics, to learn what their needs are, and then use the Park Service to do that. So I've been working in the communities probably the past 40 years. So I'm writing about it.
Don't tell nobody 40 years. You look great.
Okay.
You look
Okay, you
great.
can take that out. Okay. And so I've been working in the community a long time and talking about civic engagement. But what I'm doing now is writing, sharing my narratives and experiences coming to the National Park Service, but also directing them as how you can actually implement community engagement, how you can actually instill consciousness in the community, the people that you are working with. But most importantly, you have to learn who they are. You have to learn who you're working with. You have to learn who are the community leaders, who are the grassroots people, because there are different levels in that hierarchy when you go out into the community to work with those children. And so I'm writing about it. I'm writing about what the National Park Service should do and what their responsibility to the community, and not fake it. And that's our job, And so I'm sharing that. I'm sharing that with you because people should know about it. So this book that I'm writing, actually, Living Between Two Worlds, is on the National Park Service. But part of it are narratives, and the other part is a curriculum guide. So I'm doing twofold. And 2 books. So after that, I'm working on a book, Conversations with my Black, Brown, and Indigenous brothers. And then I just sit down for a while and start working and promoting self-validation. All of it be wrapped about loving yourself and then loving others. It's just take care of yourself and then you take care of others.
Right.
It gives that person an opportunity to also have a different perspective on life. That sometimes, I tell you, such challenges are actually to see your worth. It helps you to see your worth, and it helps you to value yourself. Self-validation is very important. So in challenges, I say, why not me? What makes me so special that I can't deal with unwarranted challenges? Because we all do. And as I look at that, our experiences are different, but our needs are the same.
Right.
And I look at that, and that's how you move forward, knowing that you're not a bad person, knowing that you are made of good stock, that you come from good stock, knowing that there's someone out there that loves you. And once you value yourself, you shine, okay? And it's so important to stand in your shine. That is so important. I'm learning that because I've always been invisible, and I learned how to be invisible. And I'm very good at that. So I do a lot of things in the community. I write a lot of things, but I always do it behind the scene and helping others or promoting others. And I work like that. But now I'm coming forward to share and for people to see me. It is so important for us to see each other in our totality, for us to not be jealous, but to value each other and encourage each other. That is what is missing sometimes. And, you know, it's like, it's okay to get a hug. It's okay to say I'm having a bad air day. You know, it's okay because you can't carry everything. And sometimes you have to go to others for them to help you carry that. And you can't keep it inside you, you know, because in one of our books I talk about arbor words, how we arbor our feelings and we keep it inside of us. Some people arbor resentment, you know, some people don't even know how bad it is and what they're harboring inside of them. And so I decided that I was going to write it down and start writing and writing
As needed.
as needed. And so the one about the National Park Service is going to be interesting because I'm taking it and I'm doing a curriculum guide on conscious engagement.
Gotcha.
And teaching, just sharing how educators can implement that. Sharing how park rangers can implement that. Sharing how the National Park, but also the Forest Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife, all of them, U.S. Game and Fish, there will be something there for all of these outdoor people or people that are working in communities or people are working in urban environments. And, you know, they used to say special populations, they'd be described urban groups. And I'm like, I am not a special population, but I am unexposed. So I started using the term unexposed audience because people don't know about the National Park Service as I do. But it's all right to expose them to it, little by little, where it becomes a part of them. It becomes a natural part of them.
Contact information.
You can find Beauty in My Bones, Reports from the Soul, and Repairing the Breach at Sam, Indigo, White, and GoldenWinters.com. Sam, Indigo, White, and GoldenWinters.com. Thank you.
Until the next time, you guys stay safe and freaking vibe on. Okay.